sum up of what we did, we called in air support for ground forces.
Okay.
So we were usually embedded with Army, infantry, or cavalry scouts, or sometimes special forces.
Okay.
And we were responsible for calling in, airstrikes as needed.
Mm-hmm.
So Katika province was kind of the wild, wild west of Afghanistan. It was frontier area, and I was there along with 4 other TAPIs.
When you say wild, wild west, what does that mean?
Well, if you could imagine, I don't know how many remote places you've been in the United States, but if you could imagine the most remote place in the United States and then magnify that by about 100, that's what it was.
Okay. So there was no one around?
No.
Okay.
Near our camp, there was a small village. They were farmers, herdsmen.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there might have been, 500, 600 of them there.
Okay.
And anyway, so we had the better part of the year. We had attempted. Well, I shouldn't say attempted. We had established a very friendly relationship with these villagers. We had provided them with food and medical supplies, and there was an incident where a herd of their goats had wandered and had detonated a landmine that was left over from the Russian occupation of Afghanistan back in the 80s.
Oh.
Pretty much decimated their flock, and that flock represented like 3 clans of families in that village.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty devastating.
Yeah, that sounds devastating.
Loss for them, and myself and my fellow TACPs, as well as a good portion of the Mountain Division, chipped in our salary to buy, replace those goats that were lost.
So you did that?
Yeah.
You did that with other people?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. How did that make you feel?
Well, it made me feel good, and it was also a part of accomplishing my mission.
Your mission?
Well, like I said, it was kind of the wild, wild west. And,
Pardon me. That's my clock.
It's an interesting clock, yeah.
Dolphins.
Sound like they're laughing.
That's a nice thought.
Well, many of the individuals you encounter when you're kind of in that environment, could be Taliban sympathizers, gathering intelligence and passing along to the enemy. I mean, it could be anybody. It could be a school child, or a mom, or and through establishing good relations, you invariably make it less likely that they are going to pass on information that would be detrimental to us.
Mm-hmm.
So we worked hard to establish good relationships with this little village.
Mm-hmm.
And we were successful. I mean, they were, occasionally we would get reports that, because we kind of, our presence there and the whole environment of what was happening kind of sparked off sort of a witch hunt kind of scenario where, a neighbor would get mad at another neighbor and they'd report that neighbor to us, that they were a Taliban sympathizer. But
So let me just stop you, John, for just a second here, and let me just kind of recap what I'm hearing you say to me, and then if there's anything in when I'm summarizing that's incorrect, I would really be grateful if you could kind of put me on the right path, and that's your path, right? Because this is your journey. So I'm hearing you say that you were in a very remote, sort of dangerous situation, and you had befriended this local community. You had helped this local community through a tragedy, and in that tragedy you were able to build stronger relations with this community. Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am. That sounds accurate, yeah.
Okay. And so I guess what I'm wondering is, sort of in the light of, let's bring it to the present, I'm wondering if you're going to tell me, is this person that you mistaken for in the hospital in your unit at this point, or are they coming soon?
We haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's fast forward to where they enter into the situation.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so when you are on deployment like that, there's like a rotation.
Okay.
Some people rotate out, new people come in.
Right.
Some of the old stay there.
Okay.
You know, there's like a crossover, right?
So a balancing.
Yeah, so the old people can orientate the new people, right?
Sure, right. That sounds like a smart way to handle.
Well,
Bringing in new people, fresh perspectives, and at the same time gaining all the knowledge that the people that have been there have acquired.
yeah.
Would you agree?
That's how it should work, yeah.
Okay. That's how it should work. That's not what happened?
Well, as I said, you know, our presence there created something of a witch hunt kind of mentality
Okay.
amongst the villagers, and you know, a neighbor would have a dispute with a neighbor and would report that neighbor to us,
Right.
as you know, a sympathizer or for you know whatever, right?
Right?
Well, by the time the events that I'm about to tell you happened, we had pretty well. It was almost kind of a joke. Oh, you know, so and so's mad at so and so, and they say so and so's a Taliban sympathizer or informant. We still had to follow up on the intelligence reports, but they weren't taken terribly seriously at this point. You know.
Okay. So when you started this story, you took a deep breath. Can you tell me what was kind of going on with that breath?
Well, I guess I was going back to where I was at that time.
You were going back. You mean in your body?
No, this was my mind.
In your mind. And so is the deep breath. How are you feeling inside your body when you're doing that?
I was trying to keep myself from anger.
Okay. So you were using the breath to gain control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Because, yeah.
Okay. And so you were feeling anger. Was there anything else you were feeling? How was your like your chest feeling?
Mm-hmm. Some tight and anger and anxiety.
Okay. Good. I'm glad you can recognize all those things. And breathing is a great way to kind of help you, bring you present to where we are right now today.
Yes, ma'am.
To kind of keep your mind wrapped around, I'm not there, I'm here. In therapy, talking with Tracy.
Yes, ma'am.
Nice. Okay. Wherever you'd like to continue, I'm ready to listen.
And so we had a new rotation come in.
Right?
And none of us, the Air Force guys, we didn't rotate out. You know, we were there all together. It was the Mountain Division that had their rotation conservative, so we got a whole bunch of, Jeep grunts come in, and a Jeep lieutenant, fresh out of West Point.
Okay.
Well, this lieutenant, he decided that, he orientated himself on all the intelligence that was available, over the past year. I don't know, he thought he was the next Patton, or, the new god of war. I don't know what he thought, but he didn't understand what I just told you about the witch hunts in that village, and that they were just silly, right?
So I'm hearing you say that you feel like he didn't understand the delicacy of the relationships you've built.
He didn't listen to the people that had been there.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Yeah.
So
that seems like that'd be something that would concern you right away.
Oh, it was a major concern.
Okay.
It was a major concern that came to be a reality. So he ordered us and, a good crew of these new Jeep grunts, and had us all go out, and we were going, he figured the intel about this village was, that there was Taliban sympathizers there, and maybe even operatives as well. Which those of us that had been there all knew that was just all fucking bullshit, right? There was nothing there. It was just a bunch of villagers, having little squabbles. And so we go out there, and I'm talking to the Terp, and I'm trying to explain to the Terp, hey, tell these guys I'm sorry, this dude's fucking new. We gotta do this, he's in charge, and,
So
my hands are tied, right?
Okay, yeah.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry for cursing.
No, please don't. You can use whatever language you need to use here. But I want to make sure that you know that this is a safe place for you to share. And I want you also to be mindful while we're going down this road that you're not there right now, that you're here. I'm hearing a lot of breathing changing, and I'm hearing the tension in your voice. So I want you to know that I'm hearing that, and I want you to know that it's a safe place. And I'm not offended by any of the words that you use to express yourself. I want you to feel free to use whatever you need to. Okay?
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that.
For sure, yeah.
So like I said, I'm trying to explain to the Terp, to get the villagers, so they don't feel so violated. And the lieutenant just orders, all these grunts to go through there and invade these people's homes and throw their shit around and look for weapons that were fucking there, and look for evidence that wasn't there, that we told them it wasn't there. And fortunately no one, none of the villagers got hurt, but in the end of it, none of them looked at us again with eyes of friendship after that. And within a month of that little foyer of that LT, we had an increase of Taliban probing on our patrols. We had an increase in ambushes. So he effectively turned that little village from, just a village of people trying to get by through a difficult situation into sympathizers with the enemy. And I can't forgive him for that. And I heard this voice in the hallway at the hospital, and I thought it was his. And I know rationally he wasn't there, couldn't have been there, because he's on the East Coast somewhere. But I heard that voice, and I had to tell him.
So I think that sometimes when people have unresolved feelings and emotions and they don't get the chance to express them, that's maybe what you experienced in the hospital. Would you think that?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
So I would like to try something with you to help kind of work through that. And would you be interested in trying something called the empty chair?
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to get an empty chair. What we're going to do with this empty chair is I want you to imagine this is that lieutenant in this chair right now. And I want you to take yourself back to those days when he was issuing orders that were changing the dynamics of the relationships your team had spent so much time building with this community. And I want you to tell him whatever it is you have on your heart.
Sir, we've spent a lot of goddamn time and effort developing positive relationships with these people. It's part of our mission. You're about to undermine all of that because you probably want a fucking promotion, make captain quicker, I don't know. But this is like the real world. It's not fucking Call of Duty. Yeah, I know you played that shit back in West Point. This is real life. You can't do this. You're going to cause a lot of loss of life.
Maybe do you want to tell him how it makes you feel? That he's issuing orders that you feel are not going to be beneficial to the community?
Well, I think he's a fucking dumbass.
Tell him. He's right there in the chair.
LT, you're a fucking dumbass. You fucking green. Green is a goddamn Jeep right off the production line. You need to listen to us that have been here.
Well, thank you for trying that exercise with me.
Yeah.
So, how did that feel?
Well, feeling quite as good as I'd imagined if he was actually right here.
Yeah. Sometimes that's a little bit of a letdown when we rehearse something in our mind. I wish I would have, if I could have. And then, when we don't get that opportunity, that I wish grows bigger and bigger. So in the reality, if he had been here in that chair, he might have had a lot of things to say back to defend himself.
No, but he didn't have a defense. I mean, I was telling you, we had an increase in enemy probings of our patrols and increase in IEDs. Significant enough that it was fucking notable. And I lost my eyesight in an IED while out on patrol with part of the mountain division, and